who's a little bit more to worry about, the Lakers or the Clippers? The answer is both of them. But if you want a clear-cut answer, is the Clippers. Because I don't know what direction they're going in. I do feel for Ty Lue, who's a talented coach. He's got his hands full, man. This is like, bro. And I love Lawrence Frank. And I love the front office and the Clippers. Everybody knows I got nothing but love for that franchise. I was lucky to play for them for 4 years. But I do not like this. I don't like this move for the team. And I love James Harden. I think he's a talented player. I really do. I just don't like him for this team. Ironically, we talk about it. I loved him in Philly. That's where he should have been. But, that situation became what it was. We don't need to go into that. And now we're here where he's on a team and all four of them are on the floor and they don't. But when you watch them, it's not only like who's going to do the little stuff and the dirty work that helps teams win, which does. That's why Denver wins. The Aaron Gordon does dirty work. KCP does dirty work. And then Jamal and Jokic hold it down with all the other pieces. Michael Porter Jr., dead-eye shooter. What does he do? Sprints to the corner, spreads the floor. Now they can't help. Who the fuck is spreading the floor for the lineup for the Clippers? They're all scorers. They're not shooters. The only one that's actually, I'll say is a dead-eye shooter who can catch and shoot quickly is Paul George. There was 4 different times last night where James Harden caught the ball wide open for 3 and waited for a defender to guard him so he could do a step back.
Those should have been catch and shoot threes.
Catch and shoot threes, but the problem is none of them have ever played that role. They've always been the best player on their team or one of the best players on their team. So they do not know how to, bro, that's why I try to tell people when I talk about myself, and I hate to bring it back to myself, but I was the best player in high school. I was the best player in college. When I went to the NBA and after 3 or 4 years, it didn't work out for me in New Orleans, I had to adjust my entire game and become a role player and not a high volume scorer, because that's what nobody was willing to pay me to do anymore. So I had to learn to be a defender and dive on the floor and be scrappy and shoot spot shots and workouts and not get in my bag with Chris Brickley and do 10 step backs. And I love C. Brickley and I love all these trainers, Chris Johnson, Remy workouts. They all do great. But their workouts with these stars is bag work. Now that all 4 of them are on the team, you don't have enough room for bag work, bro. Someone has to be the spot-up catch-and-shoot guy. Someone has to be the guy who runs straight to the corner 10 times in a row and maybe not get it, but he's in the corner and he's causing spacing due to his ability to catch and shoot. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, now it sounds like we know why guys like Lou Dort and Bruce Brown and these guys are getting paid certain amounts of money because they do all these other things.
That's exactly why these guys get paid what they get paid, man, because they do all of those things. It's like somebody has to play that role of doing the simple things, man. And I have never seen James, Russ, Paul George, or Kawhi Leonard be a role player. None of them have ever been the guy to run to the corner and space the floor. None of them have ever been the guy to run up and down the floor 10 times, knowing they might not get the ball, but they got to run hard to the corner to space for everybody else. None of them have been catch and shoot players. None of them have ever been that. We just talked about it. I literally saw 3 times last night. James got the ball. He's wide open for 3. He takes 2 seconds, pump fakes, and waits for a guy to guard him so he can do a step back. And he got a shot block once. Or the other ones, he shot tough shots. Again, I'm not blaming them. That's who they've been their whole career. It's because they're so good at basketball. They've always been the star. You can't have 4 stars out there wanting the ball in their hands. You got to have guys become less of who they were. I had to do it, man. I had to change my whole style of play and become a fucking role player. So that's what they don't do that. It's not going to work.
It makes you have a greater appreciation for what someone like Ray Allen did in 2008, where in Milwaukee and Seattle, he was this go-to scorer, and he had a lot more bag than people think. And then when he got to the Celtics, he was way more catch and shoot. And then there was generations that came along. Yeah, and generations came along and thought that he was basically, a catch and shoot guy, but they don't know that he sacrificed.
People have no idea that he was the go-to guy in every team he's ever played for other than the Celtics. And obviously the Heat, which was later in his career. But when he went to the Celtics, he changed his whole game all to catch and shoot because he knew the ball was going to be in first Paul's hands. Rondo was a star up-and-coming point guard, and they had KG there. This guy had to adjust his game, and that doesn't make him less of a player. He still went to the fucking All-Star game because they had the best record in the NBA. So, he was able to take less to do more. That's what has to happen for the Clippers, man. If they're going to have any level of success going forward and doing anything deep in the playoffs or making, a finals run, it can't be 4 stars out there trying to get in their bag. 2 of those guys, or one of them, preferably 2 since there's 4 of them. 2 of them have to become role players. Yes, I said it. Russ or James have to become a role player. They have to become a role player. I'm not saying you can't. James leading the league in assists or averaging 22 and 10. But them days is done, bro. If you wanted to do that, you should have stayed your ass in fucking Philly. You going over to LA, they got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard over there, bro. They don't need you to do that. It's not that you can't. James can. James is a stud, bro. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a baller.
Right. I watched a team last night. Like the Bulls when they were playing the Suns. They could use a James Harden, a guy to run the offense and do all that stuff. You wanted to go to the Clippers. This is your choice.
James would be great for Chicago. He would go there and average 24 and 12 because he can and because he's that gifted at basketball. I'm saying on the Clippers, it can't happen. It won't work. And not with Russell there either. Russell got to do the same shit. Russell shot the fucking ball 18 times, man. Airballing threes in the corner. Russell's got to be a very strategic scorer. Pick and choose when you attack the basket. Other than that, I need you to play defense and get rebounds because God knows who else is going to get in that starting lineup. You only have you're starting essentially 4 fucking guards. I know Kawhi Leonard's a small forward, but he plays like a guard. He plays in the perimeter and he shoots a lot of jump shots. You got 4 of them on one team. He needs to be a strategic scorer and pick and choose when he's shooting the ball. I need like 8 to 10 shots a game from Russell. That's about it. Other than that, I need him to rebound and defend and push the fucking pace. If there's nothing there, bring it out. Run the offense. Paul George, Kawhi, run the team. You're the 2 best players still. Be those guys. Those guys have to take a backseat and be role players. I'm just concerned because none of them have ever been that in their entire NBA career.
James Harden definitely has the ability to be a catch and shoot player if he wanted to be, because I do think he has, he has I think he's top 5 most threes ever made in NBA history. I know he got him in a different way, but the guy has a stroke.
No, he has the ability. I just don't know. This is the same guy that, 2 weeks ago said, I am the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mindset. They have to change. And I use that at a smaller role myself because I was never a star in the NBA, but I learned I have to try to be a star in my role. These guys have an opportunity to do that, and they're going to have to figure it out. Again, we're not even 10 games into the season. So do I think the Clippers are going to be much better? Yes, I do. Do I think they're still a dangerous team in a 7-game series playing against all 4 of them if they're healthy? Absolutely. But do I think for them to win a championship or make a deep run in the playoffs, guys have to sacrifice and become less? It's not even an opinion. It's a must. It has to happen. It's just what it is.